Alright, so today I sold this golf club, and I've been wanting to post a YouTube video about how to make your own shipping box, cheap and very sturdy, because the first thing I noticed when I started selling the golf clubs is the cartons are kind of expensive. This takes a little more time to do, but I tell you can save a lot of money. You can move clubs because you can have a better price on your club. And it's like I said, I've had returns after I've made the box. If somebody would return it and the box was still intact, and I chipped it back out again in the same box. So that's how well they hold up. But this box you can get from Walmart. It's the small. Show them this barcode right here. And it's only $1. This box is only $1. So it comes broken down like this at Walmart. In our area it's $1. It comes broken down like this, and the first thing I do when I got my club, and I'm looking, if you'll look at the creases, there's one crease that's different, and it's this crease right here. So I take my box cutter. Stop the video.
Go.
Okay, so I've got my box cutter. Now I've got a special box cutter, and I'll talk more about it when we get to this part right here. This is just a regular box cutter, but you can get this off of eBay or Amazon, and I'll talk more about this in just a minute. But for right now, we'll take the box cutter, and I'm going to use this line as as my straight line, and I'm going to cut down. I'm going to cut it straight down that box. Alright, so you see this little indention here? Remember this indention. I've always put it on, let me set the plug down so it won't be in the way. I always put the indention on my left hand side. You'll get faster and faster the more times you do this. So now I'm going to take my club and place it right here on this line here. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is how much room I'm going to leave for the length of the box. I'm just going to come over, just eyeball it, just a little hair over, just a little hair. You could take your pencil, because you're going to need a pencil and a box cutter. And you could go like this right here. Okay. And put it on pause.
Go.
Okay, so I've got, you don't have to have a square like this, but these are cheap. It's plastic, Harbor Freight. It's very inexpensive, and it's a good way to get a good clean line. So what I do is I score it here, and then I take edge, and I run it a little bit further. So all I'm doing is trying to square this off, because we don't use all of the box. And then I put the square on top here and finish up the line. So now we've got the length of what we need this box to be. So I'm gonna lay this down. And I'm going to freehand it, and you'll be surprised. You can take it like a straight edge and put the side of it, but what works best for me after doing it several different ways is for me just, because it don't have to be perfect. Have you got me straight?
It's good.
It doesn't have to be perfect. I need to be closer. Let me set the plug down again. Don't need it. Just let it sit right there. Alright, because you'll be surprised with drag, you just ease down. See, I went off a little bit, but it'll be fine. You won't notice it. Alright, coming down. Okay, so our next step is, and this is the trick that I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and this is one thing that kind of helps you set this box up to where it'll fit. A lot of now you would have to modify this method to do a really big headed driver, but this will work for 99% of what I say it works for. All right, look at this. I'm folding these flaps forward. And now I'm going to take a pencil and come in there and draw a line. So I'm using the box to my advantage to get a straight edge. Now, this is where this comes in, but you don't have to have this. But this, if you'll notice, I can freehand, and this scores at the box, but doesn't cut all the way through, so that I can bend it forward and it'll crease it. See the crease? But if you don't have this, but I would recommend you get one if you're going to sell any clubs. All you have to do is adjust your tip of this until it just does break the cardboard, but the tool will make it a whole lot easier. But for right now, I'm going to use it with the tool because that's what I would recommend you do, is use this. There's a lot of different brands of it. You don't have to be expensive. It's a very simple tool. All right, so now I'm going to go all the way down. Okay, I've got it, and again, it doesn't have to be. Now, when I first started doing this, where's that little piece of cardboard? There it is. I have this with blue tape on it, and this is where all I did was I cut this off of one of these, because what I want is, I'm gonna drop another line right here. I need one more line right here, and I need it to be the width of this flap. So what I did was from the first one that I ever did, I cut the flap off and I put blue tape on it so I knew not to throw it away. And this is what I use as a template to draw the line with it. So I draw the line. And again, doesn't have to be perfect, but you do need some kind of template. Keep it somewhat square. We're making a triangle box, not a four-sided box. I guess I should have said that from the beginning. A triangle box is cheaper to ship. As far as I know, from what my understanding is, the triangle box, you can ship it a little bit cheaper because you don't have wasted airspace in the triangle like you do on a square box. Because you got to get a certain size square box, you're going to have a lot of little irons that don't fill it. For this, it only has to be as big as the head, slightly bigger than the head. So the coolness of this method is, now I'm going to come here and I'm going to cut all the way through, and I'm doing it freehand. But you can put you can get you a rafter square or whatever square you want to do and do it beside of it. But for me, I can get it just as straight, if not straighter, freehanded. Okay. Now, if you're wondering how do I make one of these, here's where I got it. I went ahead and cut this down while I did it on the first one, and I put blue tape on it, and then I use it for every club. So, but I still need this, and I'll show you why I need this. So I'm going to take the longest piece, and I'm going to set this to the side because I'm going to use this later in a few minutes. The next step of getting the club in it is, see how that bent over because of that scoring tool? You could do the same thing. Remember, I did it with this and it scored over. Or you can get this down, but you'll have to test it before you cut because it'd be very easy to cut through. And just break the plane, this top surface skin, so it'll fold over easily and neat. Because this is going to be a neat box. I can tell you that. It's going to be very neat. All right. Now we got quite a bit of taping to do because we don't want it to come apart in shipping. So you may think this is a little bit overkill the way I tape it here, but you just have to play it by ear. I just never wanted to find out how little I could get away with on the tape. So I tape 3 sections, 3 sections, 3 sections, and then that little one I would only do 1. But I'll do 3 to make this a sturdy box. And I just try to keep it level, like I've got the, look at the camera, the way I've got it. This comes out and this is flat. See how this is very flat and neat? So that's how I try to tape it, and all the same way. I'm gonna come over the long way at the very end and take the whole section in, and I guarantee you it ain't coming apart. Bradley, we'll get to you later, buddy. We're gonna put you on film next. That's Bradley. Bradley, what's up, buddy? Don't pet him. Don't pet him, please.
Is that the mean cat?
Yeah, he might
That's
scratch.
a mean cat.
He might scratch you.
That's a mean cat.
How's
Right
it
there.
come yelling so much?
We're filming a YouTube video, Kyle.
For what? Oh,
You see how straight that edge is.
I'm sorry.
All right, so you see how I'm doing?
Three. Let's put in 3.
Let my tape go down. This tape. Oh, and I don't know, what do you guys think? Put it in the comments on why do you think some people use brown tape and some people use clear tape? Because I'm thinking I always want brown tape, and the reason is on some boxes I can't quite get it closed together, and if I use clear tape it looks like you can see inside of the box. So I always use brown tape so that it looks more secure, although it probably isn't. But if you put down in the comments what you guys do or think about it. This tape can be kind of aggravating sometimes. One more of this kind. Now I'm gonna take a long one. Catch me. Now I'm gonna go long. And I'm going to, well actually I made it too long. I'm gonna come right here. Get the scissors. And this is the final, no, actually I got one more piece to do. I fold this over and now I've got it double secured. Now, I have seen it with this open, but it kind of bothers me. I don't want the customer to think I'm sending them, you know, that I didn't take care in packaging the item. So I just run, and that's another reason to have brown tape, is now I can cut that up and it looks a lot more secure. Okay, now you see how we got triangle, I'm getting, yeah, you won't have, it's according to how long your club is on how many of these things you have, these openings that you have. I used to put this fiberglass reinforced tape, but it's really not necessary. But if you sell something like bowling balls, which I do, you definitely need this kind of tape to go on it. And if you put this on there, your customer will be happy, I'm sure, but it's expensive. All right, so now we need to close the ends. I saw on the ends, and the ends is what I didn't like on a lot of the videos. Not that they weren't just as secure as this, but because they looked kind of tacky. They didn't look neat. So I do mine this way. I will take one of the pieces that I cut loose and I hold it. I got this lined up with that corner and that lined up with that corner. And I take my pencil and I mark it. So you can make these up ahead of time and not have to do this on the day that you got to ship. And so you won't be stressed out. You can make a bunch of them in your spare time. All right, see how I got my diamond? And now I'm gonna cut it out. I'm gonna take this blade. I'd also recommend a table and tape. What I did, I cut a box down and taped it to it, and then you could just easily switch it out when it gets real ratty, like it's just about is now. Alright, so now look, let's come to the top of this. And we got a perfect triangle to close up. Now this is where you have to, the more you do this, the more your hands get used to, you don't have to fumble with it. Alright, so I'm doing that triangle. I'm gonna turn it around. Not really good job, no. And I'm gonna put a triangle here, turn it around, and cover up this triangle. Then adjust it. I worried about this part, whether it was secure enough, but I think you'll see once it's taped up that it's pretty strong, because the weak part of this method is the inside. You'd have to take the club and try to shove it through up this way, and this is the strongest part. It's strong in that direction, the way I'm doing it here. So, alright, so what I'm basically do, I make sure that all of that is covered in brown, and then I know that I've got it very secure. I'm gonna do one more thing. This might be overkill now, so at your discretion. But I come back and I'll do a longer one. And now I'm double taping at the edges here to make sure that it's even stronger. You know that this tape during transit might want to kind of start coming up. Well, I'm gonna run a piece of tape this way so it can't even do that. So I'm gonna go to each corner, which is only 3. If you'll remind me, Max, I'm speaking to my cameraman, I will explain to you how you do the measurements on this to put on your postal shipping, how you're supposed to calculate the circumference of this box for eBay shipping.
Y'all want something to eat? I got to eat something.
All right, go.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, so now we got this in secure. So now we're back to the product. The star of the show is the club, of course. Now this is a, what do they call these? I'm not a
Hybrids.
golfer, although
Hybrids.
I sell a lot of cars.
It's a 3 hybrid.
Yeah, this is a hybrid driver, a 3 wood hybrid Ideatech that I sold, and it's left-handed. I hope the customer realizes it's left-handed. I might drop him a message before I ship it. But what I'm going to do is, you may want to pause it just a minute. All right, so,
Go.
all right, so I went off camera and cut this little piece of, what do you call this? Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap.
And I don't know, this is probably overkill, but I could see if I was shipping a $300 club, I definitely would probably wrap the whole thing in bubble wrap. But this is a relatively inexpensive one, and it's not going to get hurt. If I thought it would get hurt, I would not ship it without wrapping it totally in bubble wrap. But the only thing I do wrap is I fold it over the club head. Now this is where I like to have clear tape, because clear tape looks neater on it than the brown tape on clear bubble wrap. Alright, so I know that's OCD, but that's me. Alright,
Let's go.
All right, you ready?
Yep, go.
Alright, so, and I've tried to think of a neat way to do this, and I can't figure out a neat way to do it, but it's very secure. I kind of want it to be kind of bulky, because I want it to fill that cavity on that other end and not shake and rattle. So, I'm going to put one more piece of tape on it, right here to bulk it up. And make sure it stays on, but it's only got to be pulled out one more time after when the customer pulls it out. Alright, so for a little bit of cushion, I'm going to get a half of a sheet of any kind of
Paper.
We use a lot. They have our town requires paper bags, and I use a lot of these paper bags. They work real good. But if you buy the kind, you can just crumble it up and put it in here for kind of like a cushioning. Now I'm going to stick the head of this in there and push it down and make sure, see how it wants to hang there, but I'm going to push it down, push it down. Make sure you got it supported on the cement floor because it's weaker from this end. Alright, until I get it in there, got it perfect. Now listen, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to do the shake test. You hear that?
No, I don't.
That's right, so that's what we want. We don't want it to shake. Now I'm going to do the same thing here at the top, but I'm going to do one other little step here I started doing. I'm going to take a little bit of painter's tape, and I'm going to tear it off, and I'm going to put it right here. And tape it in there like that. And then I'm going to take another half sheet of this
Paper.
what they call packing paper. I'll do a half sheet. All this stuff is expensive. I mean, it adds up. It's not that expensive, but it adds up. If I feel like that's not big enough, and I don't this time, I'm going to stick 2 of them in there. And really, I would cut down the paper bag, and it would be even more sturdy. Now, we already know that this is going to be, I can tell you, most of these small heads clubs are going to be under 2 pounds. So, you can check that at the very end. So I've got in here, what am I going to do?
The shake test.
Shake test. That little bit right there, I think that's something to do with the box, but that is not the product rolling around in the box. So that's very secure right there. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to take this piece of cardboard.
The same piece from earlier.
Yep. And I'm going to orientate it to where I can take my pencil.
As you can see right here, we've got them all from Walmart, as it says right there on the box.
Yep. More splicing. They run sales on the bigger boxes sometimes. Hand me that other square. Alright, so here. Now I just drew me a little teepee. And it's custom. I mean, you can't make these ahead of time. I wouldn't. I would think that there would be enough variances where you'd have to probably fight with when you go to tape it down. So if it don't fit one way or it feels kind of off, just turn it over and it'll fit. You just got it upside down. All right. I'm back to my brown tape. Same method. Tape each corner. And we might speed up this part. Anyway, no, I might put it on fast forward for,
Yeah.
you know, for the second time. And pull the audio out. Alright, and almost done. Last part on this is I'm going
Tape it
to
around.
tape each corner. Now, if I sold them really, really fast, I definitely would just have to, I would just make me up 10 ahead of time. So I wouldn't be stressed on the day I got to ship it.
Do you have to ship this one today?
Was Memorial Day weekend, so I can't ship it till Monday. But I'm going to
Tuesday.
go ahead and get it
Tuesday.
I wanted to get it out the way. So we got the club in there. If you do packing slips, I don't forget to put your packing slip in.
Yeah, remember-
You can put the label anywhere.
You told me to remind you. Tell them how to figure out the circumference of the box.
Oh yeah. Okay. So when you know how eBay, it on the postage, you need to check irregular box, and then you're gonna have 3 measurements. And there's 3 measurements on there. So you've got your length. Since this is a triangle, you've got your length. Which, if it says 43, you need to put in 44. Always round up, because if you don't, if you put 43, if they catch you, you could get penalized for it. So, I mean, they probably wouldn't penalize you the first time, because I think I've messed up a couple of times, but they, you know, they charged me the difference on it. So, you got your length, and then what you do here, you find the longest side. And on this one, they're pretty much almost all a little 5 and 5/8. This one's 5 1/2, and this one's 5 1/2. So I say, what? You round it up, 6.
6.
The longest side is 6. Because what you sometimes you could create a box that has a longer side. You will, especially when you go with the big-headed ones, you'll have one side that is longer. This one's pretty much a perfect triangle. So you take your longest side, and then your second measurement, which is your third and final measurement, is the longest side goes across the bottom, which I think was that right there. This was the longest side, and then you measure from here to the middle. And so it's 4 and a little over 3/4, so I would put 5.
Round it up.
You would round it up to 5, and that's what you put in for your shipping dimensions, if you're going by dimensions. And other than that, it's ready to go, and I think it's very solid. It's very solid. I mean, it's not going anywhere. You take that to UPS, they'll be proud of you. Oh, and also, this is what's the date? It's May.
26.
Anyway,
26.
this is Memorial Day weekend of 2024. At this time, UPS is
Closed.
the cheapest rate by far. It was USPS, the post office, and then when they came out with the new price changes in 2024, they hurt themselves by charging extra for the length. I think it's anything over 40 inches. So the UPS, I found, gives the customer the best shipping price. Remember, if you got the best shipping price, you got the best overall price, you're going to get the best sales out of it. Or that's how I look at it, out of it anyway. Anything I could save the customer or pass the savings along to the customer so that I can increase sales, and I do. I want it to be a quality box. I don't want to take a shortcut on that. So leave in the comments what you think about it. And if you have any suggestions on things that could be improved on it, of course, leave it down. Let's all learn together on it. And appreciate you watching the video.